Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Dak Cohen podcast. I'm your host, Dak Cohen. And on this late night edition of said podcast, I got a special guest with me.
Hello.
You want to introduce yourself, my good sir?
Sure. My name is That Random Game or James. I'm a senior in high school right now. I play football, baseball, basketball, and I also do track. What sport am I missing? Oh, hockey.
Football?
Hockey, I said football. That was the first thing I said. That's the most thing I'm proud of. Football. I've been playing football since I was 5 with my brother. So I know a lot about it. I know a lot about the sport. I've had offers from a D1 school, and I think I know a decent amount about football, and I've always watched the shows, so I think would have a good non-biased opinion.
All right. And, what kind of got you into the gist of playing sports in the first place, if I don't mind asking you?
Well, I started playing sports in general because, my whole family played sports. My dad played sports. My brother played sports. I played now, so then I played sports. Right. Even my mom played sports. When she was in high school, she played hockey and she did track. And she played basketball, I think, too. So my whole family. So I come from a sports family, and sports and the Marine Corps are like the two biggest things in my family. So yeah, basically that's the reason.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, like I myself, I may not seem like the type, but I have played sports myself, I guess growing up. Originally played soccer, and then I didn't care to play that afterwards. So then I'm like, okay, what other sport do I also like? And it turns out it was basketball. And so then when I got to high school, I found out about this basketball team that they were just starting their program. And so I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot, see if I make the team. Sure enough, had a couple practices in with the team and then had tryouts. And then next thing you know, I got on the team. And then like 2 years later down the line, I became a back-to-back champion. So pretty cool.
Funny story, and this is actually kind of like a heartwarming story. When I started playing football, right, when freshman year, I almost didn't get on the team. Almost. There was a complication, and I didn't get on at first, right? And then the player went out, and they had to do retryouts. So I did end up getting on, but because they mistake tryout dates, and they had to redo them. Because of course they did, because my school messed up. But then I made it. But at first I was going to be a manager, and I feel like it was very, what's the word? Like not concerning, but disappointing. Made me definitely not feel the happiest. Maybe not very self-confident, definitely in that, because of, I thought, oh, I'm so good at football, why didn't I get in? Why didn't I get in? But then it was really a nice experience still. I also think maybe I'm not the best player on the team. You don't always assume you're the smartest in the room, for example. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, that 100% makes sense, like the whole disappointment about, not making the final cut there, and then just, yeah, dreaming of the sport you've been wanting to play, kind of can really hurt, I guess, the self-principle of, of the word try, But that's why, you don't usually give up on those type of things and, just keep trying and trying again.
It does. I'm sorry to interrupt this production, but this episode is sponsored by Red Bull. If you want to do some crazy shit, jump off a mountain, drink a Red Bull. Thank you again, Red Bull, for sponsoring this podcast. Now back to the podcast. Back to you, Dax.
Well, thank you for that. So let's go ahead and turn our attention over to the NBA, if we shall choose. You were a respected fan of what team?
The Knicks.
The Knicks. Okay. And how long have you been a Knicks fan for, if you don't mind me asking?
Since I was born. Basically, for as long as I remember.
Okay. So, I mean, with that being said, with the Knicks, we've known them for quite some time, how they've had like very long title drought and all. But with that being said, they are currently, what is it, third in the East? Let me take a look. Yes, they are currently third in the East. They have actually locked third place in the East. So with that being said, I mean, what do you think about, the chances of the Knicks making the finals?
Well, I think I'm honestly a little biased because I'm a Knicks fan, but well, God willing, that Knicks will actually make it and not mess up like last year. But hopefully, the Knicks do make it. And honestly, I think with Brunson again being injured though, with Brunson having being so, well, how's the right word, injury prone, especially from last season, uh, definitely with a lot of injury. So hopefully we can just like make it to the finals.
I will definitely give the Knicks some credit where it's due. They have had a better built around team more recent years than they have in the past. Because we know in the past they've, drafted some really good players, and then, like, let me take like the 90s, for example. Like, you guys had Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Larry Nance, all those guys. And then, there was a year where you guys were so close to winning the title, if I'm not mistaken. But then, of course, you had MJ, so it was kind of hard to get past him, I guess. So much for that. But I mean, that was a great team back then too.
Think about like the old time Lakers with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, with Shaq, with what's his name,
Kobe.
Well, with all the legends, that team was unstoppable.
Because they won 2 back-to-back, and then tried to go for a 3P, but couldn't actually do it. And see, I'm a little biased about when they won the 2000 or 2001 championship, because my Blazers were in I think it was at the Western Conference Finals against them. We had a good team that year. Yes, we were still known as the Jailblazers, which, fun fact, there's an actual documentary about that coming later next month. But yeah, like, we were so close to punching our ticket to the finals. Oh, what did I wish? When I look back at clips of when Kobe throws the alley to Shaq, it's like, yep, that's where our run kind of ended for almost 10 plus years. Very fun.
Speaking of NBA, did you hear what happened with the Bulls wave guard Jaden Ivey?
I did not. Well,
Jaden Ivey made anti-gay comments by a story by Jamal Collier from the ESPN. He said that the Chicago Bulls waived Jaden Ivey for conduct undeterminedly to the team on Monday hours after he posted a lengthy video on social media about religion and other topics that included anti-gay sentiments. Ivey was gone on Instagram account most frequently in the past week, posting at least 3 lengthy videos, and he was shut down for the rest of the season in the NBA because of the injury in last Thursday. And then he calls out the NBA for promoting Pride Month, saying, quote unquote, they are unrighteous and the word promoting LGBTQ right. Ivey said that in the video scene that they proclaim Pride Month, and the NBA does too, and they show it into the world. They say, come join us for Pride Month to celebrate unrighteousness. They proclaim for the billboards, and they proclaim for the streets unrighteousness, end quote. What are your thoughts on that?
Interesting. Yeah, it's kind of disappointing to see. I mean, Jaden Ivey's had a pretty up and down battle more or less recently, because, he gets traded from the Pistons to the Bulls, plays a couple games for the Bulls, and now he gets waived because of making anti-LGBTQ plus comments. Sure, yeah, it's frowned upon, but we also have to look at the history itself of Jaden Ivey, because, like, ever since he got that injury, I think, like, his second or third year with the Pistons, he just really hasn't been as explosive as he used to be, and so even he knows it, and it looks like on the court-wise, it's not fully there, and so that mental illness, because mental illness is a really big thing, and a lot of people don't seem to understand that, but it is. And, it looks like, his mental illness for the game of basketball has kind of been severely impacted by that injury. And so now he's going out of his way to make these, rant comments and all that, leading up to a release by the Bulls. And now is a free agent. My question is, will another team sign him? after making said comments.
I mean, the Bulls coach Billy Donovan told reporters before Monday night game against the Spurs in San Antonio that the team hoped Ivy could be a part of its long-term future. Wanted to acquire him last month, but because of Ivy did not come to an agreement on the contract extension with Detroit last summer, he will be a free agent heading down to the offseason, which is just, again, like you said, beyond crazy.
Yeah.
And then he said, Donovan told reporters everybody came with their own personal experiences, right? But we have to be all professional. There will be a high level of respect for one another, and we've got to help each other and to be acclaimed for those standards. Ivy is the son of Notre Dame women's basketball coach Niele Ivy.
I did not know that. That's fun. I think Notre Dame either got eliminated or is still in the Final Four for women's basketball, but I'll have to check that.
Nope. They got eliminated.
They got eliminated? Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
Moving to the NBA. Was that a female I heard?
Where is
really?
Sorry.
Some podcast host.
Anyways, let's move over to the Western Conference now. In San Antonio Spurs, the current front runner for the MVP, Victor Wembanyama, has set the record for fastest double-doubles in NBA history. He had a season-high 41 points on 16 rebounds while collecting the fastest double-double in NBA history. The Spurs won their 9th straight, defeating the Bulls. What a coincidence. Kind of lapping into this next one. Winning 129 and 114 on Monday night. Wembanyama had scored 10 points and 10 rebounds in the first 8 minutes. 31 seconds on the court, collecting his 10th rebound 2 minutes into the second quarter. Jim Washington of the St. Louis Hawks had a double-double in 9 minutes against the New York Knicks on March 6th at 66. Wembanyama punctuated his season high with a driving one-handed dunk on for his final points midway through the fourth. He was 17 for 27 from the field and 3 for 6 from 3 in scoring at least 30 points for the 14th time this season. Holy crap. Stephon Castle then added on 21 points on 10 assists with 8 rebounds, which has won San Antonio their 9th consecutive game. So to see Wembanyama just keep adding on to his now then resume of maybe being MVP tells you something. And I'll say this again, I've said it before, but Victor Wembanyama would be the first MVP this young, other than, guess who? Derrick Rose. So to see that is quite exciting. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think Victor Wembanyama should deserve the MVP, or do you think it should go to, like, Shea, Jokic, or Luka?
I think Luka, well, he's Luka, so obviously he's pretty good. But I think Wembanyama is definitely a great player, especially with this 41 high point, which is an all-time high. I think Wembanyama definitely had an all-time high. I don't know how good it is comparing to other players like Luka, for example, but I do know that it was really good. I don't know if he deserves the MVP spot.
So you think he should wait longer for the MVP to get the MVP and all?
Yes.
Do you think he's definitely a lock though for DPOY?
Definitely. I mean, moving to like the NFL. I know we're going from like topic to topic here, and
it's all right
because I just saw something that was a little shocking to me. Because I was trying to find it. You edit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you edit out all the bad moments. I mean, what do you think of the Colts?
Colt?
No.
Oh, the Colts?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Wait. I mean, the 2026 NFL free agency ranking players is technically out. At number 1 right now is standing Juan Jennings for the San Francisco 49ers for playing wide receiver. That's staying at 6'3", 213 pounds. And he was ranked 12th in the ESPN receiver score. And he has 975 receiving yards. Thoughts on that? I mean,
that's definitely interesting.
Being last right now is Russell Wilson, the quarterback for the Giants, playing 36 seasons and being replaced by Jackson Dart week 4 during his 3 starts. Wilson did blow through 778 yards with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions with declining mobility because he is a veteran, standing at number 2 for the stage of his own career. And then we have some people in the middle like Bobby Wagner, who is a linebacker for the Commanders, and he is 9.5 tackles with the 6th overall in 2025.
I don't see Bobby Wagner staying with Washington. I think if he wants to go after another Super Bowl, he should either return to Seattle or he should just go to another contender that would actually need him. So like maybe like Buffalo. I could see Buffalo picking him up because, Von Miller's obviously not as great as he used to be, even though Von Miller's no longer there. But Bobby Wagner could do good there. I could also see him going to, maybe like the Chargers would be interesting because the Chargers really need to bolster their defense, especially with how, injuries kind of plague them. Heck, I could even probably see him going to Baltimore to team up with Trey Hendrickson.
I can see that.
I mean, like,
happening.
That's on the whole Max Crosby situation.
Well, I think they should have traded him. I mean, his knee injury was pretty bad. I mean, he was pretty good, though. He had a total of 10 sacks. And, he was all-pro edge rusher, arrived in Trump. He played on the 9th for 3 days after a round picking for Crosby after 7 seasons, though. But after that, everything went so fast and they just traded him. I'm not sure. I personally don't know enough about the situation because I didn't really follow it to know on it. I don't know enough about the situation to have a formal opinion.
I can tell you if you want. So what had happened was the Raiders had sent 2 first overall picks and Max Crosby to Baltimore. Baltimore then sent, I think, a couple picks back in some cash assets or whatever. And the deal was done. Deal was done and everything. Funny enough, I was at a WWE show when the news broke about him going to Baltimore. And so I'm like, okay, so Baltimore can actually be in a win-now mode with the addition of Max Crosby. But then the next day, I wake up to the news of the trade's off. Baltimore pulls out a trade, and I'm like, well, what's that about? And it was pending his physical. Did the Raiders just not tell Baltimore about Max Crosby's knee issue, or what? That's what I don't get. And then Baltimore's like, haha, we pulled off the heist of the century. We're keeping our picks, and we'll take your picks with it. And it's like, what? Confusing. So yeah, Max Crosby's now just a Raider, and then Baltimore went out to get Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals. And if supposedly their idea was to team Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson together on the defensive line for their defense to be even better, but I guess that can't happen now since supposedly, Max Crosby had his...
I think what they definitely did was a bit of a dick move. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, 100%.
That shouldn't have happened. I'm surprised the NFL didn't step in with mediating at least a little bit, because I feel like that's something the NFL would do. Maybe at least step in, help mediate the tension.
You would think.
Yeah, but I guess not, so I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about also long-time wide receiver Mike Evans leaving Tampa Bay to go to San Francisco?
I feel like that's maybe a bit of a betrayal to his team. He was a long time player, and then he just up and left.
Over 1,000 every year he was there in Tampa Bay. Over 1,000-yard rusher, over 1,000-yard rusher, and then what else? And then he proceeded to, he wanted to. I guess he thought, even though he also won a Super Bowl with, I don't know, the GOAT Tom Brady, that he just proceeds to go over down San Francisco and be like, okay, let me try to win some Super Bowls here. I mean, yes, San Francisco has a Super Bowl history culture, but at the same time, you're kind of losing that whole entire aspect of loyalty and all.
Definitely. 100%. But, I mean, moving a little more now to the MLB. I know the
MLB,
season.
okay.
I know how the season hasn't like officially started yet.
Yeah, it's just vividly started so far.
Yeah, like as in like fully, like full off started right now. I know that there is a Yankees game going on right now against the
Let's go
Mariners.
Yankees.
It's 7-1, and the Mariners are currently winning. 1 and
Okay. And then we got the Diamondbacks win against the Detroit Tigers.
I mean, the
And
Giants
the Dodgers are losing to the
winning.
Cleveland Guardians.
Damn, the Yankees won against the Giants 3-1. There's no surprise there though. Why'd you turn your camera off?
I was doing something real fast. My bad.
Yeah, you big back. We both know what you're doing.
And what am I doing then?
Eating.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, let me get your opinion on something. Out of all the, obviously, you're a Yankees fan, if I'm not mistaken, correct? What are your thoughts on the New York Mets?
They can go fucking kill themselves.
Whoa. Okay. Really?
Please
Okay.
edit that out. Let's just
you
edit
think
that out.
they're the less superior New York baseball team,
edit
obviously?
I don't like them. Let's just keep that.
It's like the good old whatchamacallit, fighting words in Boston where you have the...
I'm not one of those fans who like wants to. Sorry, I'm not one of those fans who want to kill each other. But like, you know, I'm not really that much of a Mets fan. Of course, Yankees. I'm always a Yankees fan. But
100%.
I mean, I don't like the Mets, but they're not my least favorite team. That place in my heart goes to the Red Sox.
The Red Sox, really?
I mean, that's the sworn enemy of the Yankees.
True. I mean, not just Dodgers.
That's true.
With that being said, though, I mean, do you see the Dodgers going for a 3-peat, or do you think it's going to be someone completely new to take their throne from them? Especially after the Kyle Tucker signing. Gosh.
I don't know, because, I mean, he is pretty good, so maybe, but I doubt it. I think that the Yankees got really close last year, so maybe this year we'll have more luck.
Because you guys made it to the, whatchamacallit, what was it? Can't really call it the conference finals, but like the championship series.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the Yankees do this season. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers made it all the way back, but I don't really see them winning a third straight, to be honest. Welcome back. Welcome back, dear listeners. Where were we?
We're talking about... I meant to ask you, Dax, how long are episodes?
They're around like 30 minutes to an hour.
So, yeah, I think we were just talking about the... Damn, what were we talking about?
I think it was the MLB.
Yeah.
About the Dodgers possibly going back for a third straight, but I don't really see it, to be honest.
Me either.
I would like someone new, to be honest.
Honestly, me too. I can't see it happening.
Yeah. I mean, right now, yeah, they're 3-0, but, you know, like, the season's just starting, so it's hard to say, like, which team's going to end up towards the end, you know, at the end of the year. But I will give credit where credit is due. The Seattle Mariners were so close to making their first ever World Series. I would have loved to see that too. That just goes to show that they're just building a team there and it's getting better, I feel like. The Blue Jays obviously made sense for them to make it. I mean, they hadn't made it in quite some time, but I mean, the Mariners, I felt like had more of a fighting chance because I remember tuning in between the series of the Mariners and Blue Jays, and I was like, okay, well, who's actually going to win this sucker, you know? And Seattle was so close. I was a little heartbroken when they lost, but, you know, I mean, I didn't hate that the Blue Jays had won and, you know, gone on. Like, if you asked me who I was rooting during the World Series, I was rooting for the Blue Jays. I feel like they would have been better off as, you know, winning the title, but I guess just never count out the Dodgers like they said on the announcement team.
I mean, a lot is happening. I feel like a lot, like there's so much, and at the same time, there's so much and nothing happening in the MLB. just because, like, first I feel like the season is just starting, so not much it just has happened just yet. But don't forget that we do have a whole season in front of us. I mean,
True. Very true.
moving to the NHL. Let me ask, what team are you a fan of?
I don't watch a lot of hockey, but if I would have to say of which team I'm a fan of, I would like to say probably the Seattle Kraken, but I'm not really confident in that answer.
You don't know much about hockey.
Really. I've been trying to get into it though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate the sport, but if I would have to say of which team's cool, that I would like, I would probably say just the Kraken.
Fair
I
choice.
mean, like,
I mean, I'm a Rangers fan.
Rangers. Makes sense.
But yeah, I think that's all we got for you today on this episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless you have anything else you want to bring up, anything else big happening in the news.
Did you want to talk about Tiger Woods?
Ooh, yes, Tiger Woods. What do you think about that?
His whole DUI situation, I think it's quite sad. It really is sad.
Especially because how good of a player he is.
Great he is. Yeah. It's really sad to see when a former former golf great like that is just getting behind the wheel again and getting another DUI charge. It isn't his first time that he's gotten a DUI charge. All the way back in 2017, he had his first one, and now it's like.
I mean, he is 60, so he is getting older.
He's getting up there. He is unk for sure.
So he's like you.
Okay, I'm not unk.
So as of March 30th, 2026, he is 50, and he has been released from jail following an arrest.
On bond, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. I don't know. I guess that situation is going to have to be followed pretty closely.
Yeah,
because
pretty closely.
This could truly be a decline for Tiger Woods. Or it could be something that maybe he can persevere through.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, even the sheriff the head sheriff of the county had said, like, even if you're famous or anything like that, or even like your Tiger Woods as an example, you're not above the law. And it just goes to for show that seems to be the case, that, he isn't above the law. I actually had read something like earlier yesterday that he would hire someone to drive him around like a chauffeur or something, but he's worried of, guess what? Privacy. He has privacy concerns, so he'd rather drive himself. And it's like, dude, well, maybe we should get you checked into a rehab facility first, or Alcoholism Anonymous or whatever, and then you can drive. Otherwise, I think you should probably hire someone.
Yeah, because like that security is, to be honest, BS. He's just trying to hide his drinking problem, and it's getting to a point where it's blatantly obvious.
Quite literally.
And it's not funny, truly.
It really isn't.
And he has kids.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't understand that alcoholism isn't something you joke about. You could basically drink yourself to death, and then your liver would end up failing on you, and then there goes you hitting the can, pretty much.
I just think it's crazy that,
like,
especially his kids, again, they have to see him like that,
Yeah.
Which is the most crazy thing.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine that. Yeah, like, imagine that family impact on him that, everyone has had, and it's like, what are we doing
They
here?
trusted him as a perfect, like, a family man almost.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll have to see what's next for the great career of Tiger Woods, but I mean, in the meantime, I feel like he should just stop golfing entirely.
Yeah, well, I think that's all we have for you today on this edition of the Dak Cohen Show. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and again, thank you, Red Bull, for sponsoring this video. If you want to use the link in the description below for 25% off, if you type in www.redbull.com/DakCohen, you can get 25% off, and if you use the link in the description below, you can get an additional 5%. Thank you again, Red Bull, and until next time, have a good day, and goodbye.
Thank you, everyone, for listening again. I'm your host, Dak Cohen. I'll see you guys next time for another edition of the Dak Cohen Podcast. Your host, Dak Cohen. Oh.